Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine.
Now, how often should a website post stories?
24/7, as often as you can. Somebody once asked me, if I post 6 stories in a day, is that enough? And I said, it's okay, it's enough. But let me tell you, in Digo Online, we post between 80 and 120 stories in a day.
Wow.
Weekends, we can do 60, 80, maybe Friday, Saturday. But Sunday to Monday, you can't find anything less than 60, 80, 120 stories on our website.
So how often should one also post videos on his or her website?
You must, at some point, separate your video from direct impact on your website. You go to YouTube to go and establish a channel. That brings you money. Once you're able to monetize it, it's far better. But if every story can go with a video, I've seen that the world loves that. People watch videos, especially when attached to your stories. Can, or just like New York Times is doing now, post as many as you can. And photographs too. And photographs. You have the space.
What are the best times, or what is the best time to post stories?
That depends on your audience. Like I said to you, we study, we look at the back end, and we take a decision. For instance, we've seen that 90% of our audience is from Lagos. So we've asked ourselves the question, when does Lagos wake up? Lagos wakes up at 5 a.m. But when Lagos wakes up at 5 a.m., does it start reading stories at 5 a.m.? No. Lagos prepares for work to go and face traffic. When are Lagosians mainly in traffic? From 6:30 to about 8 a.m. So, gosh, remember that. When also are they in traffic? Later in the day, from about 4 p.m. to about 8 p.m., 9 p.m. It's a busy period too. So you cash in. You have to know your audience. We know we get traffic from the US, we get from South Africa, we get from Germany, we get from the UK, we get from France. When are those people away? People need to post a story that has to do with the US and the UK and Canada. They're looking at about 12, 1 noon in Nigeria when they'll be waking up there. And then be looking at also in the evening when they are returning home. You must be strategic, extremely so.
Now, from experience, what kind of stories do you think people enjoy reading most? And what kind of videos do you think people enjoy watching?
These days, what I've seen is that Nigerians are taking it easy. They are taking it very easy. So they are looking for stories that are exciting, not stories that are pathetic. I've seen that it's good to report the big ones. This person stole 110 billion. Bah! But I'm telling you that Nigerians would rather watch a Tobi Amusan dance buga after winning a medal than reading that story. That's the discovery. They would rather do that. So it's not all of the time that you assume as an editor, I've killed it. Because you have a document that is showing massive fraud. It appears to me that Nigerians have become despondent about those things. They rather want the things that will lift their spirits. They would rather do the Buga challenge. They would rather dance to Davido or even watch his uncle, the governor-elect, dance in churches. I'm telling you, it's what we are seeing and what is really happening. So we must live with our reality. We must live with our reality. Put those things. Some people ask, if you are doing serious business, how do you now attract the MDs of banks? Who told you the MDs of banks are not reading those things? Who told you that they were not the ones who were reading the sexy guy in those days? Who told you they are not the ones who are following the cartoon in Vanguard, the Mr. and Mrs.? So be careful with our conclusions. And like I said, the fact is staring us in the face. You can see it from your videos, from your news. The views are there. Even for those who are doing the hard copy now, all they need to do is to contact those who are online. The stories that we ran yesterday, which ones did well? And like I said, if I was to be an editor today of a hard copy newspaper, if I want to use a story tomorrow, I'll just put a teaser around 5 p.m. online, about 2 or 3 stories, teaser, and then call for the results. When you see the results, you know what to lead your paper with. You know what people are reading. You're not forcing anything on them. Teasers, just throw it there. 3, 4, 5 stories. And then your front page is complete for the following day. That's
interesting. Any journalist who wants to survive in the current journalism terrain, what would be your advice to the person? Anybody who does not want to be left behind, who wants to survive?
Be correct. Yes, be correct. Know what the trends are. Don't delude yourself by saying that the realities that are staring you in the face isn't journalism. In those days, there used to be very clear divides. This one is, they call serious newspaper. They call some junk magazine. That divisor is so thin these days that if you don't look well, you can't see it. In fact, I don't see it existing again. When one of the newspaper I told you I joined, and I said, give me a few weeks to study what was happening, I discovered that a weekend newspaper was running political stories, art stories on Saturday. And what did we do? We just divided the newspaper into 2. If you want your politics, the front page, you see it there. If you want the page 3 girl or the Nollywood actresses, actors who are doing different abracadabra, you find it also on the front page. So we shared it into 2. And I know it's difficult because the dailies want to appear to be very serious minded, that we are doing business, we are doing this. But like the question I asked, who told you that the bank MD does not want to read a sizeless sex story on a Monday morning? Who told you that? Instead of having a headache after his 10 a.m. meeting, he wants to take your paper and go somewhere and walk and sit down and say, I enjoy this side of this newspaper. Who told you that he doesn't want to? But we live in delusion and say, we want to appear to be serious, we want to... In fact, somebody says to me all the time, this life is a joke. So what is there? So you must understand your audience and be able to position yourself in a way that your survival is guaranteed. We are not in those days where we are saying you go and categorize some. You say fame, ovation, they are junk, encomium, they are junk. People are reading them, they are smiling to the bank. So why can't we just see what works for us? See what works for you. See what works for your audience. We are about 200 million in this country. Let us even say only 20 million can read. The number of online newspapers and hard copy newspapers that we have now can't serve them, especially online, because people read more online now, and everybody has his own need that he wants to be met. So you must, for survival, know what your audience wants. You will do your normal stories. President Buhari has said, National Assembly has passed, but at the same time, 10 ways to ensure that your lover is satisfied in bed will not harm all those other stories you have done. Rather, it brings people to your website to see those other stories, because a lot more people are interested in the soft stories than in the hard ones.
Thank you very, very much. It